All right, boys and girls, here we are. We are in Chapter 2, Practice 4, and we're going to start learning a little more about rounding numbers to estimate. So we're going to mark a little X for each number on the number line. So the example is done for us. We have 400 and 500, and then each one of these little lines is worth 10. So 400, 410, 420, 430, all the way up to 450. 60, 70, 80, 90, and 500. So we're going to do the same thing. We have the same number of lines here, and you kind of see this one is the middle line. It has a line that goes down, which would be 350. That's the halfway between the 300 and the 400. So we have 330, 300, 310, 320, 330. So we are going to make an X on the mark right there. 185. So again, we have 100, there's 200, there's 150, and then we can say 160, 170, 180, 190. Well, we have 185, so we're going to be halfway between 80 and 90. So we're going to make our X, and we're going to put our X right there. Okay? This says 2,204. So, forget all about the 2000s. We can just say 200 and 300, right? Makes it a little bit easier. I mean, we still have to have that there, but we don't really need to think about that as much when we're doing this one. Each one of these marks is, again, worth 10. So 210, 20, 30, 40, 250, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 300. We have 204. So 2,204. So we're not to 10, but we're just a little over there. The halfway mark is right there, about, right? Not perfect, but pretty close. So our 4 is going to be about right there. Okay, so again, that's just marking our spot on the number line. I believe you have a number line in the back of your blue folder. Okay, so don't forget to use that one. That will help you out. Fill in the blanks. So our example here is, again, we see it on 600 or 560, 570. So 570 is nearer to 600 than it is to 500. 1, 2, 3 marks away from 600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marks away from 500. So I look at this number, I see it's between 800 and 850. So 845 is nearer to 800 than to 900. Again, we're going by the hundreds right now. Okay? Just slightly under halfway, if halfway is our big mark there, sorry about that, 800, 900 is just slightly less than the halfway mark of 850. So 845 is 800 when rounded to the nearest 100. One thing we like to say is we look next door, right? So we're looking at the 4. 4 or less, let it rest, 800. Or 5 or more, raise the score, would push us up to 900. Notice that's a 5, but that's in the ones column. We only look next door, only one spot next door. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page and go to page 28. Let's do this one. This one is right in the middle, isn't it? It's really right in the middle between 900 and 1,000. Okay? But watch, we're going to still put down 1,000 on that, then to 900. Okay, so 950 is 1,000 when rounded to the nearest 100. The reason we do that, again, is 5 or more raise the score. We're going to round up on that. Okay? Decide whether to find an estimate or an exact answer. So, here we go. An organization has about 600 members. The greatest possible number of members this can be is 649. The least possible number of members could be is 550. Now, that is because on the number line we're used to seeing the 100 to the 100, but we're really continuing this on to 1,500, or this one on to 850, because all of these numbers go to 900, and all of the numbers from 849 also go to 900. 950 goes to 1,000, and 1,499 all go back to 1,000. Oh, I'm sorry, 49. My mistake. It wouldn't be. It'd be 1,100. I apologize, boys and girls. 1,100, so that it would be 1,049, and it has to be. I'm sorry again, 1,050. Because it has to be 1,049. Meaning every time we get in, again, 900 to 1,000, we're really looking in between those, right? So we got to figure everything that can be rounded up. 5 or more raise the score has to all go up to 900. 4 or less let it rest all have to go down to 900. Okay? So that's why we have 649 and 550. Now, Tanya had $900 after buying 2 of these items. She has $210 left. How much do the 2 items cost? Which 2 items does she buy? So Tanya had $900. So we could take away 200, which would be 700, and the $10 left. So she still has $210 left, which means she spent $690. Okay, there's our plus our $210 left is 900, right? So she spent $690. So how much do the 2 items cost? We just figured that out, $690. That's between the 2 of them, right? Which 2 items does she buy? Well, let's look at the largest number first. The largest number between all of these is 450. And we have to get up to 690, so almost $700. If we had a $100 item, we'd have to get like a $600 item, and we don't have that. So it's really tough to think either of those two. 200 is tricky, but let's look at the 450. If we have 450 for the TV, and again, we're trying to get up to 690, right? So 450, let's just try the next one. 240. It just so happened to work out that it is $690 for these 2. So we can kind of think of it as 500, and we can think of it as 200, and that's about 700. Well, that's about 700. So it's kind of a nice way to kind of quickly do. I guess for that, it's kind of nice to use the estimate, but you can use the exact answer too. Let's move on now. And we are going to move up to page 29. This says, find the sum or difference. Use rounding to check that each answer is reasonable. This is a big one I see a lot of us do often. So let's go ahead and do our best with this one. 238. Let's just say about 300 or about 200. 598, so 600. It's about, right? 200, it's 30s is closer to 2. 90 is closer to the next one up. So 200 plus 600 equals 800. So between the 2 of them, it's about $800. So let's figure this out now. What's 8 plus 8? 16. Good. 9 and 1 is 10 and 3 is 13. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 836 is close to 800. See what we did there? We took what we rounded to and added it together to get 800. 836, if we rounded down, would be 800. Not bad. 846 minus 700. So 846, let's see, that's about 800, because the 4 would tell us to round down. 694 is almost 700. So 800 minus 700 equals 100. So 846 minus 694 is about 100. But now let's go through And let's do our work. What is 6 minus 4? That's a 2. Okay. 4 minus 9, more on the floor. You got to borrow from next door. 14 minus 9 is 5. And 7 minus 6 is 1. And again, 152 is close to 100. Technically, we would round up to 200, but that's still fairly close. It's not like we accidentally added 800 and 700 to make 1,500. That would for sure not be anywhere close to 100, so we would know the answer on that. All right, our last page for the day. We have one more of these. So 872 minus 259. Well, 872 is about 900. 259 is about 300. So 900 minus 300 would equal 600. So 872 minus 259 is about 600. Now let's go ahead. 2 minus 9. More on the floor. We have to borrow from next door. 12 minus 9 is 3. 6 minus 5 is 1. And 8 minus 2 is 6. 613 is very close to 600, so our answer is reasonable. Mrs. Ramsey wants to buy these 4 items. Okay, find the total cost of the items. All right, well, let's do that. 96 plus 215 plus 247 plus 385. All right, here we go. I see a 5 and a 5 is a 10. 6 and 7 is 13. 13 and 10 is 23. Okay, I see a 9 and a 1 make 10. And I see 8 and 2 make 10. That's 20. And 4 more is 24. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the total cost is $943. Okay? Now let's round and check to see if that's reasonable. So 96 is about 100. 215 is about 200. 247 is about 200. And 385 is about 400. So those are all zeros. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 900 as an estimate is pretty close to 943 when adding all 4 items up together. Okay, Mrs. Ramsey has $980. Does she have enough money to buy all the items? Well, she has 980. Total cost is 943. Yes, she does. And 80 minus 43 would be $37 left. All right, boys and girls, great job on practice 4. I'll see you next time for practice 5.